So we somehow managed the depletion win con. Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing a deck profile on one of the funnest meme decks of them all, LinkJoker's Omega Glendios. Now, Omega Glendios brings a lot of spice. I think it's the first clan, or the first build, that permits you to actually multi-clan. More than one, you know. Royals can bring like Blaster Dark, but Glendios can bring all sorts of reverse units and forces from different clans. In addition, it also introduces an alternate win condition, the first of this game, World's End. Now, is World's End feasible? Not really, right? People ask me, oh, how do I build World's End? And the serious answer is there's two ways to succeed with World's End. The first thing is that your opponent should be playing Rebirth. The second thing is your opponent must be an idiot. Put them together and you play decently and you can World's End, right? Feasibly though, realistically though, maybe try the Break Ride variant. But honestly, those two, it's a joke, right? It's a joke. Not yet. You're ahead of your time. Let's wait for the G era support, the Glendios Stride and all that stuff. Maybe it'll help us. At this moment though, what you will want to be playing is Beatdown. Now even the Beatdown deck isn't like meta, but it's definitely the more viable version of the two by far. Alright, so with that all said and done, if you're looking for the Break Ride variant, this is not the place for you. I think it's a joke, but we can talk about it down there in the comment section. But let's just get to the deck profile with what I have right now and talk about it. So of course, remember, you should play your LinkJoker or reverse clans, do your daily mission, and so you can get your Omega medals in. So this is the list. This is slightly different than the one on the day one playtesting stream. I tweaked it a bit and I played around with it, and this is what I ended up with. Let's start with the starter. This is what makes the deck work, right? Star Waiter, World Line Dragon. Vanguard Circle in the Soul. At the start of your I phase, if your Vanguard is not a grade 3 or greater, discard a reverse, check top 5 from the top of your deck, add 1 card to your hand. If it was a reverse unit, you can add a card with the same name as that card from outside your deck into your deck. So, for example, I add a Rebirth, right? Because technically it's a reverse R unit. That card, well, I get that copy, and then I shuffle a copy of that back to the deck. So this is a new mechanic. In the TCG, you couldn't do that, but now you can have multiple copies of a reverse unit through World Line Dragon. So this is great. You really want to be using this like turn 1, turn 2-ish. At least use it once or twice. The reason being is you do want to fuel your drop zone with reverse units because you can pick them back up later on. And also being able to search for whatever you want is quite nice. The bad thing is sometimes I don't see the need to mulligan into a reverse just to use World Line Dragon. I understand that. But if you draw into it naturally, it doesn't hurt. If you just start it with your hand, it doesn't hurt because you can always replace it with whatever. If you toss a reverse to add a reverse, then you essentially just added 1 more reverse unit into your entire play. Because now originally you had 2, then you dumped 1, you added 1 copy to your hand. There's 1 in the drop zone, 1 in your hand, and 1 in the deck. And you can always, you know, draw into or trigger check into the one in your deck, but you can always pick the one from the drop zone back. So this is how the deck works. This is how you artificially increase the number of reverse units that you can play with, and it's really nice. For the grade 1s, we play 4 PG. The deck is, you know, you're playing a lot of reverse units. You want to play them up in front, beat down your opponent. You do want your PGs to protect yourself. Any deck plays 4. This deck really wants to play 4 too. We're going to be playing 4 Rubidium, as I said before. Ideally, you know, most of the time you want your grade 3s in front. They're 16k beaters. They're very, very big. Rubidium helps you make them into intercepts. And so your opponent has to hit over 16k intercept. If you've been playing this game for long enough, you will recognize that big intercepts are hard to get past, right? You know, even back in the set 1 meta, you know, you have your Brutal Jack or Genocide Jacks, 11k intercepts. Woof, that was hard. And then you had your 12k, your Ryan Chain intercepts. Gotta commit something. 16k, a bit more difficult, a bit more challenging. Of course, we have a lot more retire options these days. But if you force your opponent to kind of have to deal with it, have to commit to the board, that's more locked targets for you, right? And that's good for me. And then for the last 2 slots, we have 3 Ruined Magicians. Place countless 1, add a reverse to your drop zone for each different reverse rear guard you have. This is the reason why you want multiple different reverse units on your board. So prioritize that, please. It doesn't require different names in the drop zone, so you can keep dumping the same one into the drop zone as long as you prioritize that your board has different reverse units. And it's pretty good. And then we have two, I don't even know how to pronunciate this, the countercharger on place, countercharge 1 for each different reverse rearguard you have. It's now a 7k, so that's nice. And obviously, like this card, you do need it as something you want to pocket. But honestly, when you're playing the beatdown variant, you don't need to have 4 of this. You know, a lot of times I actually don't need to pull this out of my pocket. And I'd rather just use something like a Ruin Magician to actually fuel more reverse units, so I can call them out and beat down and use them as intercepts with Rubian, for example. Alright, so with the grade 1 set in mind, we have 4 Magnet Hollows. Discard skill Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle on hit of Vanguard. Kind of must 1 to add a reverse from your deck to your hand. It's solid. This card was better than the TCG because grade 3s didn't really have a lot of value, but now you're removing a trigger from your deck. But if you add a reverse unit, then you can discard it with World Line Dragon. It's a great Rhine target, you know, it's just solid. We have Cold Death Dragon. Now, Cold Death Dragon is the ideal card, you know, its image is to suit the World End mechanic more so, I suppose. But still being able to force your opponent to retire something, to call something on top of an existing unit, to clog their board so they can't actually build up the columns to actually hit your 16k intercepts, for example. Force your opponent to deck out because, you know, down the line this deck does grind out quite a bit. You might not hit the World's End mechanic, but you can deck your opponent out. That's something that's very important to know and recognize. Next, we're playing 1 red on, 12k beater. Really, you can try the 10k, but the 12k does help. As long as it's a 10k or above, as long as it can swing through, you know, 10k Vanguards or 10k rearguards, it is fine. 12k is just nice, you know, 12k with a 7k booster can hit 19, can over those cross-line numbers. Sometimes it's relevant, and in the mirror match, it's more relevant than not. Hit 11k Vanguards by itself is good. And lastly, we play 4 Colony Makers. Originally, I was playing 3 because I was afraid it was really kind of last heavy. But surprisingly, Colony Maker is fine. You know, you can on place if your opponent has a locked card, which is really easy to access with Glendios. Can last 1, call a grade 1 or less Starvator from your deck. And ideally, you know, if this is later, you want your Rubidiums to help you really solidify your defense. Sometimes you want a Ruin Magician to actually help you fetch more reverse units if it's early. And sometimes in the middle, if you're lacking Counterblast, or, you know, you have a reverse unit already and you just want a free booster, you call this guy out, you Counterblast 1 for it, you countercharge back 1 because you already have a reverse unit, supposedly, when you're on your turn 3 turn. You know, it's a wash. You get a free 7k booster, helps you hit 16 or 18 or 23, wherever you place this. That's really solid. Lastly, for the grade 3s, we're of course playing 4 Glendios. Limit Break 5, it's the World's End play. Not really relevant. Of course, you need to Omega. Remember to use your Omega lock skill in order to actually achieve it, because your opponent's locked cards will unlock if it's normal lock. Vanguard Circle, this is the Omega lock skill. Limit Break 4, Countless 1, discard a reverse unit to have all your opponent's locked cards unable to unlock during your opponent's next end phase. This is really solid. Vanguard Circle, once per turn, when your reverse rearguard is placed, lock one of your opponent's rearguards at random with priority to the back row. And those locked cards are Omega locked. And this is really big. It's a really big buff. It means that you don't have to start committing your Counterblast 1, discard 1 in order to start Omega locking. If your opponent's a bad player and your opponent does not call any back rows, your turn 3, you slap Glendios, you slap a reverse unit, boom, you lock the front row. That's a huge swing. And lastly, Vanguard Circle, all your reverse rearguards get +5, and they cannot be locked by your opponent's card effects. It's a hard counter against other LinkJoker decks. So if you have 2 reverse units in the front, Chaos Breaker Dragon got nothing against this mad lad. So yeah. For the next 4 slot, we have Starvator Reverse Cradle. This is the LinkJoker reverse unit. This is your alternate ride target. Obviously, you don't want to ride this, but it's still solid. It doesn't win you games. It's like, but it gives you a better chance than not riding anything at all, I guess. Vanguard Circle, Limit Break 4. When your reverse rearguard is placed, lock one of your opponent's rearguards at random with the back row, and then this gets +5. So this gets +5 instead of the rearguard getting +5s. And then Rearguard Circle on place, if your Vanguard is Omega Glendios, discard an Omega Glendios and add a reverse from your drop zone to your hand. So this is the real reason why we play 4 of this, because, well, you do want to play 4 Glendios in order to make it consistent enough to draw into, but if you draw more than 1, Reverse Cradle helps you actually fix it and trade that Omega Glendios and exchange it with a reverse unit that you'd much rather have instead. So that's really good. And then we're going to be playing the rest, one of each reverse unit, of course. In the Japanese text, it doesn't really say it requires reverse. It just says the reverse R symbol, which is why Rebirth actually counts as a reverse rearguard, even though its name is Rebirth, of course. So these were picked by the people that showed up in the live stream. So of course, you know, some things like these, it's just aesthetic purposes. You want to play Ashley reverse, you can do that. You want to play Magatsu, sorry, not Magatsu, Hyakivo, you can do that. It doesn't really matter, but representing, yo. So this is the list. Overall, some things you want to consider is that your turn 1, turn 2 play is going to be super slow because most of your hand is going to be focused on building up your reverses and like, having your pieces, getting your Glendios and all that. Your grade 1 ride target, generally speaking, any of these 7Ks are fine. You don't want to ride your PG, obviously. Grade 2, I do like riding the Magnet Hollow on hit. Kermust 1 +1, really solid. If not, then honestly, Cold Draft is not bad if you're going first, because really, I don't really use the skill that much. And then for grade 3 turn, obviously you want to ride the Omega Glendios, and you want to start placing stuff down, and start beating your opponent down with big fat numbers and a big fat intercept. So that's basically the list. You know, this is a super fun deck, added on with Tomori, which makes it super more fun with the Hey Guys. So yeah, hope you guys try this deck out. We're gonna go check out this deck and see how this deck performs. So stay tuned and let's get fight in. So hopefully everyone's doing good for the tournament mode. I had some footage for the tournament mode for Rebirth, which I wanted to do a deck profile on first because it's honestly really surprisingly strong. But I guess you guys rather LinkJoker. So yeah, let's do it. So here we're going to be playing against Mega Colony. Again, I don't really like hard mulligan for reverse units, but if I have it in my hand, it feels pretty good. Everything else is pretty fine, honestly. And we can just leave it. Don't worry about hard mulliganing into Omega Glendios. You have your reverse units to actually, you know, draw into it, and you have multiple turns to actually just draw one, right? So we're gonna use Worldline Dragon. Discard the. So yeah, we have Glendios already. I think that's fine. Better safe than sorry. Of course, if I had a reverse unit, maybe I would have risked it and added that reverse unit instead. I'm gonna actually ride the countercharge. And I can pass. So I think Glendios, it's important to recognize that you need to know what your opponent's trying to do. See how they're going to call, like, one of the things that you want to do if you're playing against Glendios is your rear guards, you know, support, especially if you're Liberators or whatever. Your rear guards are important, so if you call something behind your Vanguard, even if it's a dead card, the odds of locking that important rear guard, like a countercharger or like a Barkle, for example, is lower, right? So maybe that's something you can consider. Here, I think just on hit is fine. We can get a reverse unit, that's pretty helpful. So let's add a Rebirth. Again, it doesn't matter. Do whatever works for you. So for 2. So against this, maybe I want to keep this guy and actually deck him out. That would be super fun. Cradle. All right, let's get rid of Rebirth. Let's get Dayusha. And then you add the Dayusha back. So this is super fun. We're gonna ride Glendios. Unfortunately, we don't have the ride animation because we're not Takuto, but for the waifu, right? All right, we're gonna call Magnet Hollow. Is it worth it? Magnet Hollow, Kermust 1. And it's not bad, it's not bad. I'm gonna call. So yeah, now we can't lock the B, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then we are going to battle. Hit. We can get another reverse. Ooh, they did hit a trigger though. That's rough. So let's remember not to add a heal trigger to your hand. a swing. If we see a trigger, that could help our 16k hit. That's nice. PG is always good. Oh, they healed though. That's rough. That's rough. So yeah, one of the things is that sometimes if you're playing against Glendios, you do want to manually attack into the reverse units, even if they're not given intercept. And that's another reason why I like to keep the Rubidium for like late game. And the reason being, you know, the longer you keep it, the more advantage I can build, right? Like for example, if I use this to search into a Ruined Magician, then I have one more reverse unit I can pick up from the drop zone. Or if I counterblast this to search for the countercharger, then that's one extra countercharge I can get off this, which is really nice. They paralyzed it, which is not nice for us, but it's okay. It's okay. So this is one of the awkward situations, because against Mega Colony, you do want to keep your intercepts in the front row. They have to, like, even if they paralyze it, they have to hit into it, generally speaking, unless they choose to take the risk and call out a grade 3. But here, you know, we do want to call out our grade 3s in front, and if we get paralyzed, then, you know, they're not going to have to hit into it unless we play our Rubidium. And I didn't expect them to use this, to use Stag Beetle so early. But it's okay, we don't mind taking the damage, and we healed, which is nice. But if we were at LB4, maybe we could choose to Omega Lock. So it's right skip. I'm gonna call. Do we have a? No, we don't. We have 2 reverses. So call this, and then I can do this. So now I can fetch 2. It's nice. So I can't move it. I guess I can call something. I'll give it intercept. So now once we lock our opponent's, you know, back row options, it's kind of rough to hit over that 16, right? Imagine if your opponent had all 3 back rows locked. It's hard. They have to bank on the trigger most of the time, or they have to break ride their Vanguard and then hit your 16k with a break ride Vanguard, which feels really bad. So that's something you can set up. Here I don't think that a Omega locking. I mean, we can't at all, but it's not that important. I don't even mind that the back row behind the Vanguard unlocks itself, because if they boost with it, then they soul charge too, and it's closer and closer to their own demise, which is something that I could set up, which would be super fun content, you know. So now they have to commit awkward back rows just so that their front row doesn't get locked. I mean, they don't have to, because their Slater is gonna get unlocked, but I don't know. I guess they can use for Armor Beetle. That's true. That's true. Now, if they paralyze the 16k, well, it has intercepted. It's not until the end of the turn, so you know they still have to eventually hit over it. So the paralyze isn't that valuable. Calling out intercept ignore, okay. So I guess they can still deal 1 damage. Draw trigger, ooh, 16. Okay. Right skip. Okay, let's see. Lock that. Kind of want to keep that. Don't mind. Let's see. Save this for later. Battle. Heal again. Very good. Can't complain. Draw trigger. Alright. Cold Death is solid. Your opponent committed your back row, you know, they don't want to call something into their front row as locked, right? So then they're going to essentially replace that unit in locked position, which is pretty solid. So one of the weaknesses of Glendios, I guess, is time. Whether that's ranked play or to competitive play, you know, generally speaking, you have a time frame. The longer the game goes on, and the longer it takes to get a result, it means that your overall ladder grind is not very efficient. Or in competitive play, you know, generally speaking, Glendios will be behind on damage, and if time runs out, then you know, you're kind of ruined on that end. Ignoring intercepts, they're just gonna go face, and they're gonna heal as well. All right, that's a bit rough for us. We're gonna be put to 5. Now, the question is, oh, we lost the counter charger. I was gonna say if we have the counter charger, we could World's End, but I guess that's not the case for us today. So that's the 3rd Toxic Trooper. That's the 4th Toxic Trooper. So after this, we don't need to worry about it anymore. So that's nice, I guess. That's nice. Let's see what we want to do. We can locked unit. I can counterblast 1 and call a intercept giver. I don't need that necessarily right now. I can do this. Let's lock it. Alright, let's hopefully not see any more triggers. We might deck out faster than they are. They will. So now we have two big 16k intercept setup. I think we're pretty comfortable. I think we're doing fine. We're just gonna swing. We're gonna hit the draw trigger. That's fine. Well, that's not really fine. Of course, ideally they don't hit the trigger, right? But all right. Let's just do this again. And maybe. Oh no. Oh, I was like, maybe we can lock the other one. But let's see. We can. So every single damage we deal, we remove 1 card from their deck. So that's up to 3. So there'll be 8. Cold Breath puts that at 7. Maybe we can use that for later. Not necessary right now. So 11, 16, 23. Of course, they hit the draw trigger. Sure. Which isn't that bad, actually. Pass. Alright, now they're at 7. Oh, if only they had the back row earlier, they could misplay and help us hit that that Deca win con faster. So yeah, set up your taunts. Of course, this is not the general idea of the deck, which is a shame, but this is a possible approach that I don't think a lot of people talk about. It's just grinding it out and having big fat intercepts and winning off that. How many cold deaths do we have left? We have 1 cold death left. So that's cold death, cold death. What else do we have? We have 1 more damage. That's 3. They can draw. That's 4. So we can survive like 1 or 2 more turns. Then we're pretty good to go. We're pretty good to go. They are able to hit the 19 though. When this boosts the machining Vanguard, yeah, it's not relevant. PG, yo! Draw trigger, alright, I like that. 5. Oh, that's another heal. That's not nice. It's really not nice. We still have a intercept provider. That would be nice. Let me think this through. Call this. Can we threaten for lethal? 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, if they have... Not really that good, not really that good. Let's call this out. hold that. Do we use this? Do we use this? Let me think. If we use this, then what do we assume? They call one out to the back row, then they'll countermass 2 to actually paralyze 1, so they can swing rearguard and then Vanguard. Alright. Let's just keep the back row locked. Actually swing into this because they can ignore intercept, which is super scary right now. So now they'll draw 1, they're at 4. Oh, they have to lock 1. Oh, calling to the front row. All right. They will have to soul blast 1 in order to rest everything. Counterblast 2 to paralyze 1, and then they have to get through the other one in order to go face. But yeah, so that is the right play. That is the right play. So we're out of heals. That's 16. I think we're in a pinch. I think it could be over. It would be super unfortunate if they draw triggered here. Because if we dealt that 1 damage, then oh, they soul charge 1. If they draw trigger here, it could be over for them. Oh my, what? They chose to soul charge? No, bro, I'm so sorry. They played themselves. They could have won. So I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. I don't feel good about this, but I'm sorry. But rough game. It was a really grindy game. So we somehow managed the depletion win con, but it required our opponent to misplay really a lot. So maybe let's run that again, and hopefully showcase the beatdown approach better. But the opportunity showed itself with the booster, the soul charge 2, and they used it once or twice, and then they misused the soul charge. But yeah, It is how it is. That's game. Alright, we're going to be playing against Absolute Zero, who does music, and playing Pilm. Ooh, Tomari fan as well. I like that. Alright, let's get rid of these. I think keeping this is fine. Maybe not. And I'll going second. I think we can search for it later. Let's. Okay, we ended up with another Omega Glendios anyways. Alright, so this is a hardcore Silverthorn, tier 1 stuff. Let's see what we can do. Gets to Zelma, which is really good for them. Not really nice for us. So, Silverthorn has a lot of combos and stuff. And they can scale up to the 16s. So we really need to be more aggressive. And if they misplay, then we have to really take advantage of that. So here, what can we search for? I guess searching for the Magnet Hollow will help. So let's ride the Ruined Magician. It's our only ride target. And we're just going to swing. That's a PG. Bye-bye PG. That's a draw trigger. Very nice. Alright, Upright Lion. It's a Rigard only skill, right? So that's fine. Ooh, the Marchica. That's not good. Oh, here we go. I don't like this. Oof. Ooh, no. I'm gonna call this or this. Yeah, gets more soul charges in. I don't know. Maybe I would have rode the 9+3 and called this out instead, because right now, right? You already called so many stuff from soul. You probably scaled up quite a bit already. So, ooh, 22. Yeah, especially with the Marchika, you know, you're gonna call it Zelma again. You know, I think that they misrode, but I don't know. Would you still do this at this point? What are you calling out? 19. Hope for a trigger and hit. 24. I guess. All right, nice. They missed. That's very good. Don't really see the 10K played in Silverthorn that often, but there's small misplay there. I know Silverthorn is a hard deck to play, but could be played better. Is what I say. Let's just call out, just call it stuff. Get rid of that Marchika so they can't spawn it back out again. Of course, I think they don't have any in Soul, so that's really good for us. That's really good for us. All right, Magna Hollow. Let's add Lukie. We gotta bring that reverse army against themselves, right? So it's style points, extra style points. All right, we have Lukie. Always really nice. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the rank reward art or the original art? I'm a big fan of the rank reward art, especially since you know, I think that's the only one I have. But Word line, is it worth to use right now? I really don't know. How many? I think it's fine. I think it's fine if we don't use it. We really don't want to gamble on having to check top 5 and not seeing a reverse, because if we don't see one, that'd be really unfortunate. Let's see if we can get rid of that Zelma. Please? Zelma, 50%? That's very good. That's very good. Let's call out the Ruin Magician. Helps us pick up a reverse unit back up. And honestly, I could call this out and just act as a 23k beater. I think that's fine. We're still early with the damage. I'd rather have the booster help us hit numbers. Guarantee at least 2 damage this turn. If possible, we can do 3. If possible, we can do 2. And that's in this case, and they're stuck at 3 damage because they heal. So good for them. At least they dropped the PG. And we'll pass. They're gonna go reverse to go into the reverse 13k number. A super nice ride animation. Super cool, super cool. All right, what are they gonna do? 13 to 9. That's fine. That's fine. Our 23k column hits those cross-line numbers, so you can tell Omega Glendios, you know, fine-tune his own army on purpose to beat down the reverse army himself. So let's just call this out. Again, locks that. That's super nice. And then unfortunately that 11k might not hit. If we see a trigger though, that'd be good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Hit a heal here would be super nice. Of course, I thought we were at 3, but we're not, I guess. So we're just gonna Lukie to Lukie, and maybe put them to 5. Oh, we can call lethal. That's a PGL. Ooh. Ooh. We're doing pretty good, you know. We're doing pretty good. Just beating them down. Don't need to worry about, you know, lack of intercepts because we are only at 2 damage. I know Pale Moon can do a lot of crazy stuff, but with the back row locked down, it's rough. It's hard for them to do stuff. Calling out grade 3s only in the front row is I don't know. Why not use your limber break, bro? Locking the front row. Okay. Calling out Zelma. Okay, I guess you're gonna go on hit, you know, you're gonna switch the Alice out for something. Maybe a 12k beater, I guess. Trying to thin the deck to see triggers, probably. And I can respect that, But what are you gonna do, bro? No trigger? That's fine, We don't need to rely on heal triggers and whatnot. Just beat them down, They put that, if they put it as a 4, then we can start Omega locking, punishing those reverse plays. Why Zelma when you don't have a unit? I don't know. Can't justify that. Well, they did hit the heal, so second successful heal. Haha, very funny. Alright, so I guess what we can do is, there's no reverse to fetch out. We can call one out. 16, 23. Let's just call one out here. Block one. I'll call this. And I'll just call the... What? Let's call the counter charger so we can push for game. And I guess I can Omega Lock. Alright, so let's just go. No need triggers, because we hit 23. Bro, we hit 23. Now they have 2 PGs, especially because they hit that draw trigger. That would be really unfortunate. But Lukie seals the deal against Lukie herself. And that is game. GGWP. Glendios just has a good matchup against reverse stacks, of course. I think the Pale Moon player could have been playing better, but can't complain about a win, right? So that's it. We ranked up. That's a nice little 2-win streak here for you all. And that's basically it. I think the most important thing is that even though it is called the beatdown variant, know what you're trying to do, first of all, and then know what your opponent's trying to do. And recognize that Glendios has a lot of options that you can actually go for. You know, you can go aggressive early, you can kind of pull back and then Omega Lock and punish those reverse plays. You can search for the counter charger, search for more reverse pieces, you can search for the intercept provider. There's a lot of stuff you can actually pick and choose from. And just know your tools and kind of consider what you want in your build. Definitely don't think my build is like the best build. Obviously, pick and choose what you want for yourself. Like for me, I think that having grade 3s in front row, I feel a bit uneasy, you know, I like being safe. So I do like the 4 intercept providers. If you think that, you know, I'm using a lot of the World Line Dragon, really aggressive with my plays, I want more Ruin Magician as a fallback, that's good too. Recognize that what you want and play with it, adjust the deck to your fitting is the most important thing, especially for the Clown Prince of LinkJoker. So that is it for this video. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Great games overall, and subscribe if you haven't already to see more, and until next time, bye.